Oh, hi everybody! You caught me. Hello, hello there, and welcome to SoulCARE, February 21st, 2022. And there's a person sitting next to me on my right side. This is Kellee. She's my daughter. Hi, Kellee.
Hi, Uncle James. How are you?
She's really my niece, but we're like father and daughter. So I thought today I would invite Kellee here to meet you guys. So today's talk is going to be all about family. So as everyone comes on, see Kellee, I'll show Kellee how this all works. Everyone comes on, we say hello to everybody. Howdy. Hi Lois. Hi Kathy. Hi Roxy. Butterfly Kisses Healing. Isn't that beautiful? Angela Carmel Johnson. So my niece Kellee is visiting me from New York. New York?
Yes.
Nassau County,
New
right?
York,
And
yes.
Rockville Center, Nassau County. Look at the people are notified now. That's a from England. Anna from England. Hello, volcanic Unks burner. I don't understand that. Don't touch the floor, volcano. Paula. Hi, Paula, Pam, Susie, Elena. Hi, everyone.
Hi, everybody.
Wow. So Kellee, my niece Kellee, and her husband Kieran, and their 3 children, ages
13, 12, and 10.
13, 12, and 10 are here visiting. And they come out as often as I can get them out here to see them. Hello, James Orford. Hello. Northern Ireland, look. Venezuela, hey.
Mm-hmm.
And so Kellee's joining me. And Kellee, tell everybody what you do. I think Kellee's so fascinating. For you're 20 years old or something? How old are you? Just 3 kids.
Much more than 20.
Yes. 20. And Kellee and I were very close growing up, and I always knew we were connected. The family knows we're like father and daughter. And tell everybody what you do. It's pretty amazing.
This is my 20th year as a high school teacher. I teach theory of knowledge and college level psychology.
What is theory of knowledge?
Theory of knowledge is all about how we gain knowledge in different areas and how that influences us as a knower, as an individual.
As a knower?
Yeah.
Not an experiencer?
No, as a knower.
A knower. Okay. Yeah. So there you go.
The experiences shape us as a knower.
Yeah. And so you teach high school students?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
11th and 12th grade.
11th and 12th grade.
Yep.
Okay. And besides that, you also are?
I'm also the International Baccalaureate Coordinator at our school.
And what does that mean?
That means the IB program is a worldwide program that the students take college level courses in different areas, or they can be a full diploma candidate, which they would take courses in 6 different areas, plus my course, Theory of Knowledge.
Wow.
Plus they write an extended essay and do community service.
Wow.
And I oversee the whole program.
And you oversee the whole program.
Yeah.
And how many students are there you oversee for that program?
About 300 take courses.
Wow.
And about roughly 20 to 30 do the full program.
Wow, Kellee.
Per year.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. Thank you.
She's just an amazing person. Sweden.
Thank you.
Wow. Hello from Los Angeles. Happy Family Day. Yes. So we're talking about family, and Kellee is a great mom on top of being a great teacher and a great administrator and really serving. She's a great mom as well. So I don't know how you do it all. And volleyball and soccer mom and the whole thing.
Yeah, so we're very busy.
Very busy.
Yep.
So I had to get them out of New York for a week. Just get them out here. So you're on your winter break, right?
Yes, February recess in New York. So we're here and
is that true of all New York City schools?
Mostly lower Hudson Valley down. It started for public schools to be able to save on their heating bills.
Oh wow!
Many years ago, and it's kind of become tradition.
Oh good.
And some schools do it. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Traditionally.
Thank you for teaching our youth. This is from Lisa. She says, thank you for teaching our youth. Not an easy job. God bless you, especially with the last 2 years with COVID. Yes. Yeah. Tell us about teaching in the educational world of COVID, please.
Yeah. So COVID impacted our students and our teaching staff worldwide, certainly. You have to deal with expecting the unexpected and rolling with it, but being calm in the process so as not to invoke fear or panic among the students. So as much as we were trying to adapt and make sure that we were prepared to instruct our students virtually during shutdown, we had to do so while ensuring them that it was going to be okay.
And now what about the parents who might have I'm sure you have severe parents who believe in one way, but the school might be in the other way. How does that work?
Yeah, so one thing we've learned is that you're never going to please everybody, and you just have to do what you believe in your heart is right for the students and move forward.
What about if it goes against the parents' wishes?
the school.
What happened? Yeah, what happened to the parents?
The school has to just make sure that they're serving all students. So many times parents will see things through their own child's lens, but we as a system have to see all of the students and all of the parents.
Okay.
So we have to make decisions based on that, the macro level, and
Did
not
you have
necessarily. And yes, sure. Yeah, there have been
conflicts.
Yep. Yeah. So that happens for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you
Very
just
good,
have to know
Kellee.
you're doing right by the kids, and
You're
that
in the
has to
front
be your
line.
mission at your core of each decision.
Wow. Hello. So we're here to ask Kellee questions. If you'd like to ask Kellee a question about the work that she does, and as a teacher, as a, what is the name of the course again? The
Theory of knowledge.
Theory of Knowledge course.
And psychology.
And psychology. Blessings to the teachers. Yay! I was not on Friday. People asked about Friday. I had a little cold on Friday night, so I didn't get to do my psychic readings, but this Friday I'm going to be doing them. So if you missed that on Friday night, it'll be this Friday. We're doing psychic readings. That's savannahprog.com. So any questions you'd like to ask? Melbourne, Australia. Hello.
Hi,
Fenella.
Australia.
Yeah, Fenella. Hi, Fenella. Hello, how amazing Kellee is. Yes, it runs the family.
Aw, yeah. We learn from each other.
We learn from each other. Yes. Like her uncle. As a retired teacher, thank you for your work in the trenches. Oh, that's so sweet.
I wanted to be a teacher from the time I was 6, from my youngest memory.
Really?
I used to take my stuffed animals and make them my students.
Really?
Yep. And the best Christmas gift I ever got was the chalkboard that my dad hung in my bedroom, and I used to teach. And none of my friends ever wanted to come over because I would make them play school. So
that's what Kellee does teach, which is great, bringing confidence to the children.
Yeah.
The children, young adults.
Yep.
But yeah, that's very important, instilling that self-confidence.
And I was blessed to have teachers that did that for me. So
yeah. Good.
Yeah.
No comments. All right, here we go. That's really important because that sense of self-confidence goes a long way, doesn't it?
Sure does.
What is one of your favorite teaching memories? Oh, great question, Kellee. What's one of your favorite teaching memories?
Oh gosh, I have so many. I guess I would have to say off the top of my head, we were doing a Socratic seminar on Plato's allegory.
What?
A Socratic seminar.
What does that mean, please? Sorry.
So our students sit in a circle. Socratic, like Socrates.
Yes. Yes, like
so
that.
You
Socratic.
teach through asking questions.
Okay.
So I, as the teacher, will introduce, and I do this early on in the course where the students still feel a little uncomfortable. They don't know me yet, and I do that purposefully. So you structure the students in a circle. They read, in this case, it was Plato's allegory of the cave before class. And again, they're not quite sure yet because it's October and they're not really confident in themselves as learners often. So Plato's allegory of the cave can be a very challenging text. So they come into the class.
I don't remember it.
They're not quite sure. It's wonderful. The lessons that they gain from it are wonderful. So they sit in a circle and I introduce and I kind of step back and let them discuss.
Oh, that's good.
And I'll never forget one of my first years teaching it. I wasn't quite sure how it was going to go. And I sat back and one student, I remember vividly, just ran with it. And he came into class. He was very unsure. Mrs. Barry, I don't think I understand the text. I said, you'll be fine.
Right.
So we sit in the circle and they start and he just gives this analysis. And I remember sitting back and almost tears coming to my eyes because he got it. And he got it in October and he went on to graduate and he went to Yale University.
Oh, that's great.
And I'm so very proud of him to this day, but he's just an example of so many other students that I've had. But if I had to pick one memory of this.
Wow, that's great, Kellee. That's great. Yeah. Wow. Well, last time I saw you was on TV years ago when you knew so much. Good to see you again. Thank you. I think she means me. I don't think she
means no. I have never been on TV. So I'm assuming it's you.
Your ring is resting. Your ring is resting. What does that mean?
How is theory of knowledge different from psychology?
Oh, that's a great question.
Yeah. So psychology is college level. So it's the traditional Psych 101 definition of psychology, history of psychology, research methodology, personality theories. So it's pretty much what we all did in, Psych 101 course. Whereas theory of knowledge is more abstract and it gets students to question things and it gets students to make connections between what they're learning in their various course areas.
Is it esoteric at all?
It is. Yeah.
Existentialist? also?
Yeah, I mean, they come to that in pieces. It's really more about their own experiences as a knower and what they're learning in their courses and how that shapes them. They do a lot of self-reflection. So it's really self-driven in that way. And I just kind of sit back and guide them through the process.
Very impressive, Kellee.
Yeah.
Wow. You're fabulous.
Oh.
Look, Kellee, you're fabulous.
Maybe that one's for you.
No, that's for you, Kellee. What do you love to teach the most from Suzanne?
Oh, that's hard. I love teaching in and of itself. So really,
what do you love about teaching? I mean, besides
I
the
really
subject matter.
Yeah, no, it's always the students. It's the relationship with the students. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. I can teach anything and be happy, but I do love teaching the theory of knowledge course in that the students kind of, self-chart their journey. The psychology course is also fun because it's all about self-experience too. So no matter what I teach, regardless of the content area, it could be history, I ask them to relate to it as their own individual, through their own individual experiences to make it more relevant to them. So
a question for you.
Yeah.
So working with faculty,
Yeah.
you have to.
Yep.
And you're working with opening minds of children.
Yep.
And then you deal with the adults.
Yep.
What is that juxtaposition like?
Yeah, so similar to the parent question, everyone's at their own level of comfort, and you try not to judge anyone from where they're coming, and everyone, teachers are in it for one reason, really, to help the students. So regardless of personalities that might be different, you always come back to that common mission, and that allows you to establish relationships with adults in the building.
But have you had in your work? Have you had other teachers, your cronies, I guess you'd say? How can I put this to you? Look at you in a way, kind of like put you down, judge you because they were insecure in their own way, or?
Oh, I'm sure that's happened.
Yeah.
But I've learned
personalities
not to let that impact me.
Right.
Yeah.
Your uncle taught you a lot about
Yes.
that. Yes.
Early on in my career, I'm sure I would have been different, but now I'm sure it happens.
I talked to Kellee about objectivity, and she said at Christmas time, so.
Sitting back and observing.
Sitting back and observing instead of jumping right in, emotionally getting involved in something. So I've told everybody here before that too, and it really works well. And Kellee said that really has helped you a lot.
Absolutely. And life and in the classroom.
Life and in the classroom.
In and out of the classroom.
Yeah. We're just very objective about the show that's going on. You're the audience member, and there's no show without an audience member. Remember that. And you can just observe people and see them going through their stuff, but not get pulled into it. Mm-hmm. Even if it's a family member, you can it's their journey. You can be concerned and love them, but you don't be pulled into it too. Mm-hmm. So that's your own thing if you're pulled into it. Mm-hmm. Hard being a mom.
It is, but I was just thinking that our 3 children have been my best teachers in my life. I mean, they teach me lessons every single day.
Right.
They're just amazing individuals, really. I'm so blessed to be their mom. But they really do test me on a daily basis in this way to not react. I just did an hour ago to one of them in the pool, but to not react and just sit back and observe and thoughtfully respond in a more purposeful way where they're ready to listen.
Yeah.
And I've learned to wait for that.
Let me ask you this. So when you're communicating with your kids, that's something really interesting. So instead of the reaction, they stop. Yeah. But this is interesting too, because it cuts that pattern of them. If you wait and they expect you to say something, but you're waiting for them. If you just sit there quietly and they're waiting and they're used to like reacting, they have nothing to do with that. Right? They'll be like, now what do I say? Because you're breaking that pattern, right?
Yeah. Now that I think they've learned.
Oh,
she's taking a breath. She's observing. Stop, take a breath, observe, proceed.
Yes. But that teaches them just by doing that. Teaches them.
Right. And it's you're teaching through modeling. So,
you're modeling.
Yep.
The psychology term.
Yeah. Yes.
I just bought this bracelet for my little Kelly's son, Brendan, his little Buddha boy. But in the story, it says Tree of Life. We bought this at a little surfing store in San Diego. Here it is. Janice Foley, the theory of knowledge being impacted by the current book bans and critics from local governments and parents?
No, theory of knowledge is more, we have choice in terms of course, IB gives us choice within the curriculum, and the students have choice within that curriculum in every assessment task. So fortunately, we haven't run into that, although it's been very much part of our educational discourse, both in the United States and worldwide. Sure.
Now you're in the New York was it New York County or New York City, or
Nassau County.
you're in Nassau County, and that's part of the bigger New York state, right?
New York State Education Department would dictate curriculum. Yep.
And do you have meetings with New York State educational people about that, or no? That's at a different level.
Colleagues of mine do. Yep.
Okay.
And then I also serve on the Board of Education in my home district. So
Okay.
through that capacity, I work with state ed from time to time, not individually directly, but with that, in that
Okay.
capacity, our superintendent does.
Yeah. It's good that someone like this is influencing children, it's like I say. Okay. Heather from NC, those classes sound great. As a parent of a brainiac, I am just so grateful for his teachers. I can't imagine a parent being anything but grateful.
And we're grateful for parents.
Yeah.
It takes a partnership for sure.
Who really get it too. Beth Lansky Prescott. Hi, James. Hi there, Beth. Is there a schedule of when you are on, or is it just a hit and miss? Every Monday at this time, I'm on SoulCARE. Every single Monday, this exact time, 12 o'clock noon Pacific time. And then I'm on every Monday night at 6 o'clock on Both Sides Now and Beyond right here. And that's with Kellee White. And tonight we're doing a whole show on Deja Vu. What is Deja Vu? So that's at 6 o'clock. Here it is. Tonight's show is Kellee White. Everything you need to know about Deja Vu. That feeling of, I've seen this before. I've been there before. You've had that. Kelly's been dreaming like crazy. She's been to my house, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I had a very vivid dream of Maisie.
Maisie, my dog Maisie.
The second night we were here, Uncle James and I were walking through the garden at night, and Maisie came up behind us, and I felt her, and then she jumped up on my chest, and I gave her a big hug. And
she's been around a lot.
Yeah.
I even replaced my faucet in my kitchen, and I went to the store, Lowe's, and I said to the guy, "Can you give me a recommendation of a faucet?" And he goes, "Well, this is the best one. You should use this one." I said, "Okay." So I got that, and I looked at the name of it, and it was called Maisie. So now Maisie's in the kitchen all the time. Okay. Patricia Stanco. When an individual passes over to the afterlife, is it different for other people to see? When an individual passes over to the afterlife, is it different for other people to see? I don't understand what that quite means. But I think that means.
When an individual passes over to the afterlife.
I don't know.
Is it
Patricia,
different
try to
for
ask that
other
again.
people?
I don't know what that means other people can see. So you'll have to ask that one again. That's right. Everybody has a different experience. It's a wonderful experience, a loving experience. I have passed out of deja vu before. It's so real. Oh, you passed out. Whoa, you passed out. So deja vu is really interesting. Tonight you'll hear all different theories about deja vu. Some you probably never heard of before. I'm going to share some from the spirit world that talk about deja vu and the sense of time. And it'll be an interesting show tonight. So that's the 6 o'clock tonight with Kellee White. And she's also going to mention a lot about the Pluto return, because tomorrow, which is 2/22/2022, is a Pluto return, which takes 248 days to happen. It's the first Pluto return we ever had. You know, all the planets move, and this is the longest, 248 days. And Pluto is the builder of countries, a destroyer. And it was last seen in 1776 when the U.S. was built up. So here we go. It's back now. So tonight, Kellee will share with us that information too. Okay, other questions you might have. Public schools, Holly. Public schools cannot provide religious instruction. Can they teach about spirituality? Wouldn't that be cool? I think that'd be cool. I think Kellee kind of does in her own way.
Yeah, there's been tremendous emphasis, particularly since COVID, but even before that, on social emotional learning and emphasizing that in the classroom. So that takes different forms, not quite spirituality, but certainly
What about mindfulness?
Yoga, mindfulness, mindful eating, mindful walking. So
Right.
all three of our children have had that in their school. And I know my home district does that as well. So I think that's really important, and staff as well, because
Totally.
let's make sure that the teachers have to take care of themselves so that they're able to take care of their students. And
Very
that's
true.
really important.
Very true.
So administrators have to make sure that they're ensuring social and emotional health of their staff so that they can in turn provide that.
And let me ask you, the Board of Ed now that you're involved in,
Mhm.
so you can't talk about religion per se, but can they talk, and they can't, it's really labels, right? They can't talk about spiritual, but you can say mindfulness.
Mhm.
Is there any kind of programs that, I know that Goldie Hawn started a mindfulness program early on
Mhm.
with kids, and it's in a lot of schools around the world. Is there anything close to that happening now?
Oh, sure. Yes.
is?
Yes.
Tell
In
us about
Rockville
that.
Center, we have Sources of Strength, which is a program that emphasizes social emotional health and development. There are national standards through CASEL, which is a Center for Emotional and Social and Emotional Learning. And Each teacher, though, can take that and implement it in their own classroom as they see fit, dependent upon the age of their students and where they believe it fits. So
and there's never been any problem with their parents saying, "What are you teaching my child?" or no?
Not to my knowledge.
That's
no,
great.
No,
That's great.
Yeah, because it becomes part of the day. And I think COVID brought to light a lot of our students are suffering. And everyone can benefit from these exercises, but certainly students that are suffering in their own way. And I think COVID brought that to light, just how many students can really use those exercises and those tools.
Have they thought about, Kellee, implementing any programs to assist? Now, let's say it's post-COVID, who knows?
Right.
Assisting those children emotionally. Has it been programs considered about that?
Sure. I mean, many districts have hired new support staff. So they've brought on additional social workers or counselors or psychologists, and just training the classroom teachers, like I said, to take care of themselves and their students. There are different ways schools can, certainly dependent on their resources, but can support that. And I've seen it across the board, at least back at home. I'm sure that's true nationwide.
That's right. Wow. Mary Latina, do you think that nonverbal children are more psychic?
I think that's a question.
What do you think?
Right?
From your teaching experiences.
I would imagine. I've never had a nonverbal student, but I've been around nonverbal children, and I would imagine they're just as psychic as other children. Sure, it comes from their heart.
Yeah. So I don't necessarily think they stand out per se. I do think children on the spectrum or autistic spectrum may have something very different going on.
Well, there's receptive that develops first, so I think that's the key with psychic communication. Yes, right. And then there's expressive, but I think the receptive part, I would imagine,
more open.
Yeah.
They think the same way. She's just smarter than I am. Okay. Emery Newman, I'm watching your shows on Gaia. Oh, good. Good. Very good. I love Spirit Talk. Spirit Talk. Yes, that was a show I did in Colorado. Remember that one? Yeah. Thank you for the show. You're very welcome. How do I know if it is spirit guides talking to me, or is it my thoughts? Do they sound the same, or do they sound like me? It's a very subtle difference in the energy. The best way to know is to know their own self. Their own self be true. So I talk about this all the time, sitting in the quiet and stillness of your being. So whether it's sitting in a room, I go in the walk-in closet and I sit there and I become aware of the breath, breathing in and just becoming aware of who I am. And I do it 5-10 minutes a day. I'll do that. And I really have a strong sense of who I feel I am. And the longer I sit there, then if it's days or weeks, then I become aware of the space around me. And I'll ask a guide to come close to me and I'll feel the subtle energies of a healing guide or a master guide, a teacher, philosopher, and I'll feel the difference of the energies. So that's how that works. Good question, right?
Yes. Patricia asked a good question too in the chat. Can spirits hug a person?
Can spirits hug a person? Yes, they can. And yes, for sure. You felt that. Yeah, for sure. And you'll very much feel it because it doesn't sound crazy. My dog Maisie hops on my all the time, and she's in my heart, and I feel her very strongly. So we're souls and they're souls. So why couldn't we feel it? The only reason, we can't feel it is because the head gets in the way, the brain, the human brain gets in the way. They go, I can't feel this because they're dead. Well, the only difference is we have a body, they don't have a body, but we're still souls. So we feel it at the soul level. We'll feel their soul, they'll feel our soul. Interesting. Eh?
And we can hug them.
And we can hug them.
Yeah.
I often do. With my little dog, I say, come on, honey, let's go. And I scratch her. Butterfly Kisses Healing. I love that name.
Yes.
What is the most profound thought or lesson that you learned from one of your students? Great question.
Okay. So
great one.
Yeah. Recently I gave a survey. I often give surveys to my classes and I ask them for feedback so that I can learn from them and get better. And one class in particular this past semester just ended, fall semester. 18 students in the same class wrote that I made them feel welcome and safe.
Oh, that's great.
And for me, that was really telling because coming back into the building this year, we didn't really know what to expect. And that was really my primary purpose and mission. So when they gave me that feedback, I felt like I had accomplished something. So
that's great, Kellee. Oh, that's good. Yeah, sometimes we got to hear it from other people.
Yeah, you just want your classroom because high school students go 40 minutes. You don't see them. They don't stay the whole day in your classroom. So for them to say that 40 minutes they felt safe and welcome, it made me feel.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Are you still in touch with some of your students who graduated? Mm-hmm. Really?
Yeah. I am.
Through emails?
And my
or-
children know some of them because when they were very young, they were my students, and now obviously they're older. So yeah,
Wow.
they'll come back. And pre-COVID, they would come back to visit time to time when they were home. But they email me, and yeah, we keep in touch.
I'm sure they think you changed my life.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure they
sometimes.
have. Wow. Okay. Just keep swimming. 1111 Tarot. Is it possible to hear them? I heard my name called out only me. There, I could swear with my dad. Yes. They can't be sure. I often wonder. Well, again, it would be your dad, but we get into that human brain part of like, oh, it can't be. We got to go through a filter, and that human brain gets in the way often. So again, just know that you're a soul. Your dad's a soul, and you're hearing him on a soul level. So you're hearing him through your psychic ear that you're hearing him. We've all had that experience. We hear a loved one turn around. You know, it's real. It's very, very real. Emil, so sorry if I'm off topic. That's okay. Don't be sorry about it. We'll just say no. But would you have any good advice on how to handle being judged by people in general? I would love any positive advice. Well, Emil, I use this phrase all the time, every day. What other people think of you is none of your business, right? Because it's true. No one can love you more than you love yourself. And, you know, the reason why people judge you is because they got to feel better than. So they put you down, and it's all fear-based. Judgment is fear-based. So when someone judges you, they're fearful. So because they're in the ego, you know, FEAR, false ego appearing real. So they're judging you to put you down. They'll feel better about themselves. So it's really from a fear point of view, obviously. So you should never be around people who judge you. Never. Don't need that. Life is too short, and you need people in your life who build you up, don't pull you down, as a general rule. And this goes into boundary work, which is boundaries, setting boundaries. Don't let people walk on you. Don't let people take advantage of you. I just had someone somehow recently texted me a thing, and it was like, you need to call my sister. And I'm like thinking, no, I really don't need to, and that's not appropriate. So no, you got to set boundaries almost every day. I don't know how you must deal with boundaries a lot too.
Yeah, I've learned
You'll
sure
learn.
over the years to establish boundaries.
And it's hard because you want to feel like you love them, and sometimes we mix love and not, but we have to love ourselves and have to have boundaries. It's very, very important.
Absolutely.
And that's how you teach others too.
Yep.
There's establishing boundaries. Okay. Heather. Hi, Heather. How long after a person passes does it take for them to contact us? Heather, it can be right away. When my father passed away, he came back within a minute to 2 minutes. There's no time on the other side. So they can come back right away. Many times they do. It depends on the time they're passing. It depends on their belief system. You know, sometimes if they're in a coma for a while, or they're kind of out of it in the physical, when they pass out of the physical, there might be some time to adapt to the new environment. Mostly everybody goes to their own funerals and memorial services, just so you know that. And I think that helps them to acclimate as well to the new environment. So that does happen. So, but they can come right away. I mean, they can. Okay. Alexandra, my best friend who passes takes my hand and cradles my face with her. It is happy tears. I love it, Alexandra, and you're open to receiving it, which is great. And if more of us were open-minded, we would be able to receive it. Great. Add light energy to your body to aid 72 minerals after myself with tons of vibe. Good for ADD, autism, stress. Paula Powers. Okay, Paula, thanks for sharing. Tommy McDonald, my brother came through during a medium's reading less than 24 hours after pass. I once did a demonstration in an audience, and I brought through a lady's mother. Mother came through, and the girl in the audience said, "I can't be my mother. My mother's still alive." I said, "Well, I have right here. So this is what she's telling me. So I'm just going to tell you that." And she found out the mother passed. By the time she left her house to go to the demonstration, the mother died.
Wow.
Yeah.
There you go.
Here you go. A lot of schools around Chicagoland have just gone mask optional. Unfortunately, for those still concerned about safety, it's causing a lot of anxiety with parents, but many of our children too. The schools aren't providing any support for our kids because the majority are so thrilled to be mask-free. Suggestions for our kids suffering from this type of anxiety.
Yeah, so this has been something that's every school has been dealing with recently and will continue to deal with as we traverse this journey. I think the important part is teaching every student and every staff member to respect each other. And if it's mask optional, we have to respect each other's choices, just like we have to do about hairstyles and clothing styles. And it just becomes another real opportunity to teach about respect and mutual respect and not judging others.
Yeah.
And being comfortable with your own choice, what's best for you. And that's hard. That can be very difficult, middle school years in particular, I'm thinking. But parents have to model that, and staff has to model that, and we have to make sure that students that still want to wear the masks feel supported and valued, just like the students that choose.
And what about the
take
parents
them
think one way and the student thinks
Yeah,
another
well,
way?
same thing, right? So that becomes right. So it's really a community effort where all stakeholders have to come together and model the best behavior for our students. So yeah, I do have. I'm sure there are examples of students that might feel differently than their parents. And they have to make the decision that's best for them while they're in school, because the most important thing is every student has to feel safe while they're in school.
Right.
And that becomes our job to make sure that they feel safe when they're not with their parents, while they're with us.
Great, Kellee. Okay, you guys. Okay. Pull-up powers. How can we best heal someone post-stroke with our own energy? Appreciate you. But Pull-up, what I would do is I do a whole green light ceremony. So however you want to put your intention and thought of healing, that's fine. You can envision them in a healing clinic of some kind you make up in your mind, which is all healing energies. I'd let you figure it out, Paul, as far as that. But I would say sending healing from your heart, which is green light. That's how I would do that. Hold them in that. Also, a psychic once said to me years ago, you pink light someone, which is unconditional love. And that soul will go through what they have to go through. So you're just helping that soul to go through whatever that soul needs to go through. You can't change the course of someone, but you certainly can assist them and assist them by sending healing and love, right? Okay. Hi, I was just looking at that. Okay, just looking down at that. JB6 Blue. Hi, Jim. Tomorrow, big 2/22/22. Should we expecting something significant? Possibly mindfulness downloads. Thanks. So, JB6 Blue, you need to check in tonight to the show. Both sides now beyond, because tomorrow is the Pluto return. So, Pluto return is one of the most important heavenly body experiences that will happen in our lifetime, because last time it happened was 1776, and it's a major transformational time. So, Pluto is a sign, is a planet of the underneath, the dark, the secretive, all that stuff that's the dark. And it started a couple of years ago. It first started with all those Harvey Weinstein and a lot of these sexual abuse and Prince Andrew. That's all coming to light now. There's going to be more of that. There'll be more stuff of the dark coming to the surface to be illuminated. So that will happen. And it's a very spiritual time. People that are not more aware of spiritual, they're going to be forced to be in some way. So their lives will shift. Definitely check out tonight, though, because Kellee will come with some wonderful astrological insights for tomorrow's Pluto return, which is one of the most significant heavenly experiences that we'll have in our lifetime. Okay. Tanya Fulton, I was told my husband is reincarnating very soon, and my grandson on the way. How do I learn to accept this? I thought I'd be with him on the other side. Oh, Tanya, my love. So let's look at it not from the human point of view, from a limited point of view, but from a grander point of view. So why can't part of the energy of your husband, who is limitless, be part of the energy of the grandson? He is anyway. So part of him will be there. It doesn't mean the whole soul will be in that body. So there's an essence that will be there, but there's an essence also that you will see again. So think of it this way. I often say that this body we have, it contains only about 30% of the soul, but 70% of the soul is outside the body. So that's interesting to know that the humans always connect with that 30% instead of that 70%. So right now, as we sit here, part of you is and most of us are on the other side, or on the other realms and spaces and places, but we're just so much involved with the big toad of the soul, this little part of us. It's such a small part. But as a soul group, we tend to come back in incarnations with that soul group. So you'll be back with that personality that you know, if that makes sense. Oh, yeah. This Friday, February 25th. That's right. Psychic birth. Thanks, Renee. I'm going to do a whole night of psychic questions for you. So that'll be this Friday night. So I couldn't do this past Friday, but a little bit of cold, but this Friday, the February 25th, I will be doing it. And it's a good night for every single person that attends. They all get something. It's amazing what comes through. The spirit world brings through a lot of really wise information. The guides that work with me on the psychic night is very different than the message night. And it's almost this overall, I don't know, wisdom they share through some questions. Now, the way that works is there'll be some people that'll ask questions and I'll tune into them. But the question, really, I'm just hearing their voice. So they might say, what's happening in my love life? And I'll hear that, but I will look at them and I'll sense immediately overall what their soul is going through. So I might not answer that particular question that they're wanting, but they'll be given exactly what they needed. It's really interesting what happens. It's really interesting. So check it out. I'm always fascinated by it. This Friday night at 4:00. Okay, a couple more questions. Lisa White, I feel spirits showing up during the day when I am alone. That's correct. What would be my next step? When it happens frequently when I am alone, I'm confused and what to do with it. Why are you confused? Just breathe, get back into the power of your heart and welcome them. You have nothing to be afraid of. Nothing at all. Just the opposite. It's very loving. The spirit people are full of love. The fear is just, it's false. It's just the unknown. That's really what you're thinking of. But no, just welcome them and breathe. They're with us all the time. We just aren't aware of them, but they're with us right now, all around us. So nothing to be afraid of. Parnes, okay. For years, I haven't wanted to be on Earth. I literally feel happier and safer in the ethers. Yes. I often go away with the fairies. Yes. I have struggled in the earthly experience. Do you have any guidance? Yes. So your soul has chosen this world. So let me just share with you how I can, and you take it from what you like. I know that every one of us is a soul having human experience, and this isn't our natural place. But we have chosen to come down at this particular time for a very small time, and we call it about time. 60, 70, 80, 90 years in the scheme of things is very, very short. So you've come here to grow and to be part of this earth. Hard for you, and for a lot of us empaths and sensitive, because it's not an easy place. It's difficult. It's school. It's school. And we are learning, and learning is never always easy. Learning is hard, but you go through those lessons. And you can't be so spiritual that you're no earthly good. So your time is to be here now to do earthly things and integration of the spiritual to the physical. That's what you need, integration. So realize that you're a soul having human experience, and that's all. You'll be here. You'll do your time. There are some great, wonderful things on this earth level that you can involve yourself with. So don't get caught up in the fairies, because then you won't do your work. And then if you just stay up with the fairies, you'll pass over one day and look back and say, oh my God, I wasted that wonderful opportunity to grow and learn. How could I have done that? So trust me, you don't want to do that. Okay. One more. Yes. Maureen. Hi, Maureen. I think I astral travel. I know you astral travel. You astral travel all the time. Maybe not consciously aware of it, but we travel all the time. The other night, my body jumped really hard. Okay. Was that my body coming back? Well, what happens, Maureen, is many times we will leave the body at night. Every night we go to sleep, the spirit will leave out of the crown chakra. And many times, just about to fall asleep, and we shake. And it's because the spirit is not leaving the correct axis of the body. So they come right back in. And sometimes that happens when you're in the spiritual realm, which you do every night, and we travel. We come back in the physical body, and the consciousness, usually the conscious mind won't remember it, right? But sometimes the conscious is very, very aware of it, and it jolts us. And we're very aware consciously that we just come back. That's what that sounds like it is. Good. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Kellee.
Thank you.
For sharing
Thank you for having me.
Insights into
Thank you,
teaching.
everyone.
Thank you, everybody. We'll see you tonight at 6 o'clock. Renee, thank you. And hopefully we'll see you at 6 o'clock. And if not, we'll see you another time. And God bless you. Thanks, Kellee.